space, I wanted to do something a little different. We're going to do some of the live here on Fridays in some sections. So I'm going to tell you what's going on in the news. I'm going to give you some helpful resource tips for how to organize things. If you're a researcher and an investigator like I am, where you have a lot of tabs open, you have a lot of information that's coming through your computers, through your phones, I wanted to make sure that you guys have some cool tips and tricks from things that I have learned. So a couple things that I wanted to share, two things that I wanted to share with you this week. First and foremost, I wanted to show you this really cool button on X. So this is like my go-to button. Let's come over here to, if you go to bookmarks, you can see all of your bookmarks for different things that you want to save. So let me show you how to bookmark something. So if you were going here, oh, Charlie Kirk, of course, he's on my front page. He's like the one that I interact with the most. So on your X page, whether you're on your phone or you're on your computer, there's going to be this bottom bar that will show you how many comments, how many reshares, how many likes, how many views. But you're also going to see next to the share button over here, you're going to see this little bookmark type image. And if you click that, it will save this post, and then you can go back and look at it in your bookmarks. Now, y'all, it did not refresh clearly. Let's refresh. There it is. So this is a lifesaver for me because there's a lot of times that I am scrolling on X just to see what's going on, refreshing, seeing what's happening, what's popping up on my feed, but I don't have the time to read it at that point, or I'm with people, or I don't want to be engaged in the news in that moment. So I bookmark a ton of stuff on X so that I can go back and look at what's happening in the news. I've also found, ironically, as much as I kind of have a tumultuous relationship with Instagram. I feel sometimes I like it, sometimes I hate it. But when it comes to news, I find that X is pretty good about keeping me up to date on what's going on. It's not always accurate. There's a lot of crazies on X. So use your discernment and your critical thinking. But I love to go surfing on what's happening in the news because there's a lot of stuff that's very, very current on X in one space. So I use that good old bookmark button to save things that I want to go back and read or watch if I don't have the time in that moment. So that's a really, really great hack. The other thing that I have found incredibly helpful, especially when it comes to saving time, being efficient about my research. Let's say I have an article like this article that is a Live Now Fox article on Pete's experience. And basically what I can do is I can copy all of this text. I don't care if it's got images, whatever. I copy all of the text. I come into ChatGPT, good old ChatGPT, and I use ChatGPT for organizing. I don't use it for research because a lot of the information it gives me is inaccurate, but I use it to organize things. So I can come in here and say, hey, I'm giving you all this information. Now, give me bullet points on this particular information that I'm looking at. So for example, let me show you what I wrote. I think I probably wrote it at the bottom. Yeah, here we go. Break down this article and tell me Pete's experience in bullet points. Boom. Now, I know that if you have like ChatGPT Pro or something, it'll read links, but you can literally copy the text and then it'll give it to you in bullet points. Bam. There's my bullet points on what the article actually said. Now, what's really helpful about this is it saves you time, especially if you're looking for something in particular in an article. But it also is a really great way to organize things. If you're keeping things like, like I have a Notion space just for these live shows so that I keep everything together and organized. So I can just copy and paste and put that in there and then go do a lot of the compiling of what I'm going to bring to you guys and what I'm researching myself for my own enjoyment of keeping up to date with the news. So ChatGPT is really, really great around organizing things, and you do not need to pay a cent for it. You can make a free account and use it purely for organizational reasons. I wouldn't give it any of your personal information, and I wouldn't use it for researching news or what's actually happening in the world. I would just use it for organizing, but I love using it for that. So those are some really cool tips this week that you can use when you're researching and investigating for yourself. If you liked this video and you want more, you're in luck. This is one small segment to a show I do every single Friday here on the channel at 3:30 p.m. EST. You can watch the full version of this episode over here on the screen, or you can subscribe to the full channel and get notifications of every Friday show, the segments that come out during the week, as well as podcasts and other topical content that we put out here just for you on the channel, free of access, so that you can engage with really relevant topics and really relevant things that are happening in the world from a biblical perspective. Would love to see you join the community here on the channel.